Hello and welcome to round 11 of the European Yu-Gi-Oh! Championships 2014. It is the last round of Swiss, and we have Kevin Langenberg versus Luca Di Pietro Paolo.
Yep, for this match it's going to be Kevin versus Luca.
Yes.
Final round of Swiss. We saw so much happen over this weekend. We've seen Spellbooks very successful. We saw Mermel's doing well. We saw Hat not quite so successful up here, but as far as I'm aware, I believe Luca. Is it Luca?
Kevin is actually playing Spellbooks, and he is the Dutch national champion as well.
Yeah, the Spellbook. He was playing 9 Prophecy Monsters in his Spellbook deck in the Nationals for Dutch National Championships, and Luca is playing a Hat deck, so maybe Hat will finally have its first win up here today. Should be a really exciting match. Both of these players, if they lose this, they're out of the tournament. We've not gone the single elimination, but the records for these players, only one of them is going into the single elimination rounds, which would be top 64.
So both of them really want to win this.
Yeah, it's
they don't really have any choice.
They've made it this far. It would be a shame to go out right before the final
last hurdle
cut-off. Especially when you consider the prizing for the top 32, I believe it is the Giant Hand, which is a very, very desirable price card.
Very sought after.
Yes, and it's very good as well. Well, that's why it's.
That's why it's sought after.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Definitely. I'm not quite sure what's going on over at the table. Here we go. They're just shuffling up.
They're shuffling up and getting ready.
Staff, they're just telling them what they're going to need to do.
Hey guys, what do you think's going to win? Feel free to have a little conversation about that in the comments. It's the handshake. It's it all relies on this game on if they still have a chance of making top 4. Okay, so we're going to see a Traptrix Mermelio being summoned. Dark Hole, Pot of Duality, Breakthrough Skill, Dimensional Prison, and I can't quite make out that last card. Oh, it's an Artifact Bieltak. Let's load Luca's hand in. And for Spellbook player we have High Priestess of Prophecy, Breakthrough Skill, Spellbook of Wisdom, Reckless Greed, and Dimensional Prison. So not very many Spellbooks there, and no Spellbook of Secrets or any way of.
Looks like he's just drawn into a Dark Hole there also.
Yeah, we've got Bieltak, Dimensional Prison, Dark Hole, Breakthrough Skill, Pot of Duality, and Traptrix Mermelio getting the bottomless trap hole.
It's a shame that Dimensional Prison.
Pot of Duality, revealing Pot of Duplicity, Soul Charge, and Wiretap. We'll see if Luca is aware of what Kevin is playing based on his decision. Okay, he goes for the Soul Charge. Seems pretty good. Although we do see quite a few trap cards over on Kevin's side. Okay, so Luca shuffles his cards and sets them face down. It's a Breakthrough Skill, Dimensional Prison, Bottomless Trap Hole. That's a pretty big setup. Spellbook of Secrets coming down from Kevin. This is a very, very good draw for him, because we saw his opening hand and he wasn't really going anywhere with it. So this Secret is going to let him start off. Oh, he gets the Spellbook Magician of the Prophecy. Probably going to see, well, we'll see. Yep, Breakthrough Skill. That cuts him off, well, would cut him off short, but we have that Spellbook of Wisdom to stop Breakthrough Skill. And then the searching continues. Wonder where Kevin goes from here. Because he has no other spellbooks in his hand. So he goes straight for the Grand Spellbook Tower. So even though he was able to stop that Breakthrough Skill, did force his decision there on which spellbook. So he sets 3 cards to his Spell and Trap Zone and activates the Grand Spellbook Tower, which we saw yesterday, the Field Spell of Awesomeness. I would try and petition a name change, but I don't think I'd get very far. Just a Tribute Summon.
Bieltak?
Yep. Artifact Bieltak. And a Soul Charge. This is going to let him bring back the Traptrix Myrmelio and activate its power. No, its effect to destroy the Grand Spellbook Tower. Let's take a look over at Kevin's field. Okay, it takes a moment to consider.
He has still got a breakthrough skill down.
Yeah, there we go, breakthrough skill. That's going to stop the Traptrix Myrmelio taking out the Spellbook Tower. Kevin with that High Priestess, and he has is that a trap card in his hand?
Yeah.
Or just a High Priestess? Oh, it's a Black Horn of Heaven in his hand. Okay, so Luca passes the turn. He can't attack because of the Soul Charge, and the Grand Spellbook Tower comes up for Kevin, giving him an extra draw. Spellbook Magician goes to defense mode, and there's some face down cards. Okay, so Luca draws, and that looks like a wire tap. We're going to be seeing the Bieltak attacking, and Traptrix Myrmelio attacking directly, which is going to be responded to with Dimensional Prison. More cards going down for Luca, including that wire tap. Grand Spellbook Tower. Even though Kevin looked like he was kind of limping early on, these extra draws he's getting from his Grand Spellbook Tower is helping out immensely. We've got a Book of Moon, Reckless Greed. Imagine many of you at home are wondering when's the right time to play Reckless Greed here. Bottomless Trap Hole responding to that Justice of the Prophecy. Luca is going to just draw a card. It's an Artifact Sanctum. We saw quite a bit of this yesterday. And then just run the Bieltak into Kevin's life points. Kevin draws for a turn, and it's another Reckless Greed. Oh, this is gonna start getting a bit silly. He's pretty good on life points as well. Luca's not threatening any kind of OTK here.
But he is chipping away at that life points very, very slowly.
Yeah, Kevin is low. He's losing a lot of life points in these small hits, but I'm sure he's happy to take those. He's not out of the game until he runs out. Right, he draws a card for a turn. He's got a High Priestess of the Prophecy in his hand. He's got quite a few defensive traps, so going Reckless Greed, number 1. He's got a Spellbook of Fate in his hand.
This been wiretapped.
Wiretap the first Reckless Greed. That was very good. That could have been pretty nasty for Luca. 2 Reckless Greeds. You only skip your next 2 draw phases in that instance.
Still get 4 cards.
And you get 4 cards.
Which is fantastic.
That wiretap is going to take some steam out of Kevin's turn. 2 additional cards to draw. I'll tell you what they are as soon as I see. There's another Grand Spellbook Tower. And Spellbook of Secrets. And in case you're wondering what's on Kevin's field. He reveals 3 spellbooks from his hand to summon High Priestess of the Prophecy. This is really good. Especially when you consider what's over on Luca's side.
Luca has got that deep prison there just in case though.
Yeah, the deep prison is a bit of a sitting duck against High Priestess if High Priestess uses her effect. But we'll see what Kevin does. He's got a 50. It looks like he doesn't want to really hit the Artifact Sanctum. And he's played Spellbook Magician to... Sorry, played Spellbook of Secrets to get Spellbook Magician, which gets Spellbook of the Master, which gets...
End of the spellbook.
Yes. Which one, though? Let's bring up Kevin's field right now. looking at the Spellbooker's Secrets. I think that was Spellbooker's Secrets. Yeah, he had Spellbooker's Secrets. He's already played one this turn, so he can't play it again. But he's just giving himself some plays next turn.
Definitely looking in a better position.
Yeah, he started off pretty slow with none of the Spellbooker's Secrets, and well, he did draw one and then lost his Spellbook Magician. No, he forced that through. We're tired, guys. Okay, so let's see what's happening. High Priestess of the Prophecy attacking. He did get the Dimensional Prison with the High Priestess effect, and Artifact the attack will go down.
He has still got a breakthrough skill in the graveyard. Pretty much shut down that ice hand, I believe.
Right, 2 counters going on top of Kevin's deck, and play passes back to Luca. Luca perhaps considering something in his opponent's end phase. It's an Artifact Sanctum. Nope, he decides to draw, and it's the Trap Chips Dynera. That Dimensional Prison earlier on the Trap Chips Murmelio.
There's a Dark Hole
paying
there.
off now.
Dark Hole is not going to make him happy.
Dark Hole, what would he be? Okay. He wouldn't get his Ice Hand effect though, but he might.
He may run the Ice Hand into something first to get Fire Hand destroy something, and then Dark Hole to get rid of the rest. But
yeah, let's see. Luca's got a couple of options available to him. He's scouting the graveyard. He's trying to make the most of the information he has available to him to decide how he wants to play this turn. He does go for the Exploding Hands technique. And Book of Moon. Book of Moon going to... Oh, he turns the High Priestess face down. So that forces... The Ice Hand's attack will still continue. And more life point damage will be dealt to Luca. He could have just as easily have Book of Mooned the Ice Hand, but this way he gets damage onto his opponent. His opponent is playing Soul Charge as well, so every point counts. I think players are notorious for the nervous switching of the cards in their hands. You can walk through a tournament floor as a judge and you just hear this noise. It's like all the time. The thing is though, is I don't even know where I picked that up, because I do it as well.
it's because you've seen other people do it.
You see other people doing it.
There must have been one person.
Yeah, one guy sat in a tournament somewhere, and
one person just did it, and then somebody was like, "Oh, that was some nerve shuffling."
Yeah. Ah, there we go. The Evil Swarm Excitation Knight being summoned, and Blackthorn Heaven.
There's really no reason for him not to play Dark Hole. There we go.
And we've still got an Artifact Sanctum and a Pot of Dichotomy for Luca. So yeah, Grand Spellbook Tower still going to be allowing Kevin to draw a card, even though that Reckless Greed will prevent him. And speaking of Reckless Greed, there it is. Spellbook of Secrets. Spellbook Magician. And we're getting to this eventual game state that the Prophecy deck wants to be in, which is it's going to be using Spellbook of Fate to take out all of Luca's anything that Luca can use to threaten Kevin, and the Spellbook Tower is just going to let him keep picking up more and more cards. We'll see how Luca decides to fight back from this, but he's, as we've seen happen to every hat deck that we featured, it's just running out of answers to questions that keep getting asked by other decks.
And is he attacking for a massive 500 life points of damage?
Yeah, it's a very powerful poke right in the face, as the Spellbook Magician actually is doing to himself. Oh, his head. Got a Reckless Greed, Spellbook of Fate. Okay, the Artifact Moraltac is summoned, and the Breakthrough skill was used because that Spellbook of Fate is only usable as long as he controls a Spellcaster monster. So we're going to see the Pot of Dichotomy.
Yeah, you do kind of get that feeling that he's going to go for another Xyz somewhere at this point. What's he got in hand there?
There's a Dark Hole and a Wiretap in Luca's hand.
The Dark Hole's already been used.
Oh, yeah. That's not been updated for us. Got a Wiretap in
Solemn Warning.
It's probably Solemn Warning. Yeah, well, if you saw it.
No, he's just drawn. I think
from the Pot of Dichotomy, well. There's a Solemn Warning, Traptrix, Dynera.
Dynera does help him right now, especially because he's already got one in grave.
I heard from some of you guys that you were unable to see the cards that we're bringing up on the sidebar. Would they be able to, anything they can do from home to improve their chance of seeing those cards?
Turning up the quality on the stream. We are currently running at 1080p, I believe.
Yeah. If you guys try that out and let us know if you can see those cards, that'd be very helpful for us. Reckless Greed used. Did you use Reckless Greed?
No, I don't think so.
I think he did. I don't know what. Yeah, he's got two Phoenix Chains, Spellbook of Eternity, Spellbook of Secrets, the Grand Spellbook Tower. Now Kevin just needs to find a way to close out this game. Be that 500 points at a time. Okay, we're going to see a Spellbook of Secrets and another card searcher. Spellbook of Life being added to the hand of Kevin. Spellbook of Life. Solemn Warning is going to be used to stop that Spellbook of Life getting back High Priestess of the Prophecy. Kevin holding so many cards against Luca. Luca only with an Artifact Moraltac and a Wiretap on the field. Okay, play comes back to Luca and he draws, and it's a Traptrix Nightmare Hall. Traptrix Dynera. Oh, yeah, Kevin just wants to quickly shuffle Kevin's deck from the last search effect. He uses Traptrix Dynera.
I do believe the secondary effect is to set a whole trap card from the graveyard.
Yeah, and this we're going to see the Fiendish Chain. And a Wiretap. What best card in the game, as we were joking around yesterday with Fiendish Chain. There is a second one, and Luca has just forced through this play with his Wiretap. He did get a Bottomless Trap Hole with the Dynera effect. Oh, he's going for the attack.
Now, would he not have been able to Bottomless Trap Hole that second Dynera?
No, the Dyneras are immune to trap. So Traptrix are immune to Traptrix holes.
My bad.
Actually funny, the more trap holes you put in your deck, the weirder that matchup becomes. Okay, Spellbook of Fate being used. I believe he's banishing two Spellbooks to turn the Spellbook Magician face down. So the Traptrix Dynera will destroy the Spellbook Magician and give Kevin another search effect. It's Spellbook of Secrets. This will be really good for him. That Spellbook Tower can put back any Spellbook he's already played into the deck, and then he can use the Spellbook of Secrets to just fish that one right out. Oh. Okay. Very long game one. 1700 life points to Kevin versus Luca's 2700. So we're probably coming to the final stages of the duel here. And you just take a look at the extra deck. See Heartland Drago, which can slip past the defenses of Kevin, well, past his monsters and get the final points of damage through. Okay, it's number 80 is going to be summoned. This will allow him to start taking cards out of his opponent's graveyard. I'll pull this one up for you again, because still a large number of people not playing this card, and it's so good. The Grand Spellbook Tower, once again. Spellbook of Fate going back into the deck. And an additional card as well. You'll see the dice keeps getting placed on top of Kevin's deck. It's for draw phases that he needs to skip with Reckless Greed.
Yeah.
You are allowed to track mandatory effects, and not drawing a card is pretty mandatory.
Yeah.
And you got Reckless Greed. It helps a lot of people to put dice on top of the deck, so you don't forget, because you see how many plays Kevin's making, and somewhere along the way you just accidentally draw a card. He takes a moment to consider his play. And he goes with a Justice. No, Temperance of the Prophecies. No, I've got Temperance here. It should be Justice of the Prophecy. Okay, so yeah, this that Temperance is actually a Justice in disguise. Spellbook of Secrets getting Spellbook of Wisdom because he knows that there is at least a bottomless trap hole on the opponent's side of the field until the end of this turn from the Diner. Spellbook of Eternity. Comes down. And Spellbook of Life, again, revealing the Spellbook of Wisdom. That's a very nice thing to show to your opponent. It's like, oh, by the way, I've got the answer to your card.
Yeah.
At the same time, I'm getting a Giant, I'm getting my High Priestess of the Prophecy, and I've already got the answer.
And here is just all of those mind games.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
You're not stopping me.
Okay. You see how Luca's hovering that card? If you're checking out the body language, that is a Trap Tricks Nightmare, Trap Hole Nightmare.
Fortunately, it can't now be activated on that there.
Yeah, because she's unaffected by traps, but he immediately moved his hand to that. Maybe it was in an attempt to mislead his opponent what he could possibly have face down.
Again, he's unaffected by it, so the only thing that he could really have would be a Buckaroo in that situation anyway.
Yeah, most likely. Could be Shrink.
Could be Shrink.
Why not?
Yeah.
Hat, new tech, playing Shrink.
It's not actually playing Shrink, I should mention that.
No, as far as we're aware. He might do. Might be inside that goes, you know what?
He may play Shrink.
Okay, so did Luca just... No, he's not picked up his cards, but his field is empty, his life points are low. Kevin, that Spellbook Tower has been in play since the beginning of this duel, and we're just... Look at the card difference here. The number of options available to Kevin is almost endless compared to Luca, who's just running out of answers to these questions.
Yep, yeah, and he's just realised he can't activate it anyway.
Well, it's unaffected. And, yep, he's going to use Justice's effect. Yeah, it got updated on my system in the end. He's just going to add another... He's going to add the Spellbook of Fate and another High Priestess. Luca, absolutely no cards remaining versus Kevin's 3 in hand, 1, 2, 3, 4 on field.
Even though, yeah, I was going to say it's an even position because of the life point difference, but even so, it's not.
It's one attack.
It is literally
the card economy for Kevin. He's just played this. Well, that Spellbook Tower just putting the work in.
Was that face down there?
I didn't see what Luca said. He drew the card and said it so quickly. I don't think our guys caught what that was. Okay, he's considering his plays. There's a Spellbook of Eternity to get back. Spellbook of Wisdom. Okay, yeah, Spellbook of Fate. Going to banish 3 cards. To banish his opponent's face down.
Just once he's got that Artifact Sanctum.
Artifact, it was an Artifact Sanctum.
And there's Moral Tag. But saying that, there is still another... Ooh, he's hovering over that bottomless trap hole.
Yep. Luca still putting up a fight here. Bottomless trap hole going to take out the Moral Attack. Moral Attack is going to use its effect to destroy the High Priestess.
He's just asking the judge there if it is still destroyed, which I do believe it is.
Yeah, it shouldn't be. It's currently...
Okay. Bottomless trap hole does not negate. Card effects.
Okay, we'll see what the judge will clear this up.
Oh, it looks like he's realised. He's trying to do a replay now a little bit.
Okay, I'm not quite sure what's going on here at all. This is one of those things where you're trying to look at body language and figure out what are the players currently discussing on the table. I think Luca pretty unhappy, but he's scooping up his cards.
I'm not quite sure what's just happened there.
I'm not entirely sure. Did we miss something?
Possibly.
I can understand both of these players are... This is the final round and one of them is going to be out of the tournament after this. And Luca, after a very long, grueling game, just not winning. He got... Kevin eventually went down 1,700 life points, but...
Ooh, that's
these...
angry shuffling.
Yeah.
Just a body language of shuffling,
Luca, it's really hard for when players when that happens, when you lose your game after a very long game.
I'm still not quite sure what happened there.
No, nor am I.
I don't know whether he just scooped. He conceded.
Yeah, there might have been a disagreement about something. I'm not sure, but either way, they're shuffling up for game 2. It's always those long games when you play them out and you're going card for card and you inevitably lose. Those are the hardest games. When you can almost shrug off games where if you drew your hand and there was just nothing there, and you go, oh, I can do everything. He had everything. In this game, that wasn't the case. The game played out into the extreme late game, which favoured Kevin very highly because he had Grand Spellbook Tower every turn, giving him additional cards.
He was not getting rid of that Spellbook Tower. It's worrying how Luca spent very little time siding. I don't think he actually did side. Didn't see anything.
Well, I didn't catch that, but at this stage of the tournament, there was quite a few prophecy decks we saw actually in the field. It would have been in his playtesting. Okay. Judges are getting ready to
start game 2.
Start game 2. There's a lot of time used on that round for that match. If you just imagine the mental strain that must go through a player, through these players' heads when they're playing for so long, especially decks where there's so much searching with the deck and so many options available to you at any time.
It feels like all of the stress of yesterday is still getting to Luca, because it was a very long day yesterday, finishing at midnight of the rounds.
And then in here again.
The thing is, he's in here again, and if he wins this, he's going to be here a lot longer. And is he looking at... no, we don't know. He's Luca's going first, isn't he?
Yeah.
But yeah, he's going to be in here for another 6 rounds after this, I believe.
Yeah. I don't think... well, Luca played well last game, but it's just he could not answer the Spellbook Tower. That happens. Okay, so we've got hands coming up. I haven't got...
Trap Trick Mermaid let you. It's got a Trap Trick Trap Hole Nightmare.
Yep. Trap Tricks. There's a Artifact Moral Attack, Artifact Ignition, Pot of Duality, which he's playing now. Fire Hand, Ice Hand, and
I think.
Attack. He's playing speeded up quite a lot here for Luca. He's
Fire Hand.
a lot faster now. Breakthrough Skill, Bottomless Trap Hole, Trap Tricks, Trap Hole Nightmare. I keep getting that wrong. And Fire Hand.
So TTTHN. If that makes you feel any better, don't use the abbreviation.
TTHN. Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
It's TTT.
Okay, so Breakthrough Skill going to be stopping this early Spellbook Magician Prophecy. We're going to see a large number of set cards coming down for Kevin. Spellbooker Master, Reckless Greed, Mystical Space Between, Treads Tribute, Breakthrough Skill.
And there goes the poke.
Yep, Spellbook Magician down. This is really interesting because Prophecy decks tend to hold on to a lot of cards, play a lot more spellbooks and want to hold on to a lot of their cards so they can summon the High Priestess. But you look at Kevin's face down cards, there are no spellbooks here. These are very real trap cards to deal with Luca's plays.
Kevin's still pretty confident.
Kevin draws a card. It's a High Priestess of the Prophecy, as we just talked about, and just passes a turn.
Fire hand. And this Torrential.
That's very good. He controls no monsters, so that Fire hand is not going to be able to get the Ice hand. It's again, people are already can play around these hands without a side deck. Mystical Space Typhoon takes out the newly set Morale Tack in Luca's turn, so he won't be bringing the Morale Tack back.
No.
Spellbook of Wisdom is drawn. See what Kevin does here. He's got 2 spellbooks in his hand, but elects not to use his Reckless Greed right now. He's got time. He's very comfortable with that. Soul Charge coming down for Luca. Was that for 3 or for 2? I missed a hand gesture.
I believe it's 3. Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Just 3,000 life points paid.
And Traptrix
Memelio will basically get a Mystical Space Typhoon effect.
Yep, and it's a Breakthrough Skill, going to be protecting the other face down card, giving Luca information that that card is important to Kevin. It looks scarier than it is. He can't attack right now. He can perform the XE summon.
Oh, a Silent Rock.
Okay, there's no special. People normally summon that to take out special summon monsters and things like.
It's generally the
effect that stops him being destroyed.
Yeah, it's generally Simply Gin that people use for that, though, isn't it? The 1800 attack, 2300 defense.
Oh, Maystroke.
That's the one.
Okay, so he now has 3 spellbooks in hand for the High Priestess. There's actually so many answers over here. It just comes down to what Luca is going to do.
It is. I do believe it's going to be a declaration of trap there with that, though.
Is that a Spellbook of Wisdom being played?
Yeah.
Artifact Ignition, destroying the Artifact Morale Tack.
I believe in a Bale Tack.
Sets BL Tack. And the Morale Tack will activate, destroy the High Priestess of the Prophecy. A lot of chaining there, and the monster, the field is in Luca's favour right now. Justice of the Prophecy is summoned from Kevin, and Spellbook of Power being played. And he attacks the Artifact Morale Tack to maybe deny his opponent access to any of those rank 5 XC summons. And the Spellbook of Power's extra effect will allow him to search for another spellbook. Very curious about the number 101 play. Bringing that out quite early, a lot of decks only play one of those, and it's a very powerful answer to a lot of cards your opponent plays. So he's putting that down for a resilient monster that he can throw at his opponent. Spellbook of Secrets was added to the hand of Kevin, and Kevin is going to play that to search his deck for another spellbook card. It's the Spellbook of Fate that he's adding to his hand. Spellbook of Masters being played, and he's going to reveal the same fate that he just added to his hand. For Spellbook of Life. Luca, yep, this is fine. Spellbook of Life being activated to banish Spellbook Magician of Prophecy to bring back High Priestess. Okay. And take a look over at Luca's field here. Oh, it's another Spellbook of Wisdom in Kevin's hand. He's banishing a... yeah, he's banishing Spellbook to target and destroy a card. And Traptrick Nightmare Hole's use then going to be stopped by his second Spellbook of Wisdom. Spellbook of Fate set on the field, High Priestess, and he's taken one material off that number 101 to prevent it from using its effect. Justice is going to be adding another High Priestess to the Prophecy and a Spellbook of Secrets to Kevin's hand. As we said before, he's asking a lot of questions. Let's see how Luca responds. What a duality. This is a good way to start.
We haven't seen World of Prophecy at this point.
No, he's probably not playing it. I don't believe he played it in the Dutch National Championship. Okay, the Mind Control, he doesn't have any spellbooks or level 7s. The Wiretap, maybe. The Soul Charge he can activate this turn. Does he think he'll get to the next turn, is the question. His field looks pretty good. And he knows the face down card is a Spellbook of Fate, as it's been revealed to him multiple times. Let's see which one he added.
Looks like the Soul Charge from here. Yep.
Yeah, it's a Soul Charge. He's now got 2 Soul Charges. This is a card you've probably seen a lot of. If not, by all means, please check that one out. Spellbook of Secrets come down for Kevin. Takes a moment to consider his turn. Kevin, very experienced with this deck. Consider how calculated every one of his plays has been. Luca got a face down the L-Tack and 2 monsters in defense mode. I don't know how much extra time these guys got, but time was called on the round downstairs a little while ago. So we'll see where this ends up.
It will probably be over quite soon.
Pretty soon, I imagine. Okay, so he summons Spellbook Magician and adds back Spellbook of Eternity, which will let him get another Spellbook from the Banish pile. He's going to play Spellbook of Fate, banishing 3 Spellbooks, which that Eternity he just added to his hand just perfectly lines up. He's got all his ducks in a row. Spellbook of Eternity, Spellbook of Power.
I believe he's just going to attack straight in, and I believe that is almost game.
It's very, very close.
4,000 damage.
Yeah, and he's seen his opponent add the Soul Charge to his hand, so he leaves him on just 500 life points, making that Soul Charge dead.
Oh, and he has no answers.
Luca, that was really good by Kevin, because he knew the Soul Charge was there. Just take all his life points out. I don't necessarily need to win this turn committing to it, but my opponent, he has no life points to pay for Soul Charge that he added with the Pot of Duality. Takes him out. That was Spellbooks one step at a time.
Spellbooks have been doing really well. We've not seen a feature match where Spellbooks have not done well.
Yeah, every time I've watched Spellbooks, I've been really impressed. The pilots of these decks have been superb. All of the players here are fantastic. They are the best in Europe, of course.
Yeah, that's why they're here.
And these ones particularly have made it into the final 128, and we're seeing Kevin now progressing to the single elimination rounds.
So we may again see Kevin again.
Yeah, we might very well see Kevin sitting in one of the top 4 seats. I keep saying that about every player here, but it could happen to anybody.
Definitely happen.
They're all fantastic players. Really enjoyed that match. It's a very long train of thought, and how would you prepare yourself for a large event like this? Because I can play games for a couple of hours, but when you think we were like here 13 hours yesterday.
Just, I'm sure you just play and play and play.
13
you
hours.
have to run your deck through the gauntlet.
13 hours of spellbooks, just constantly knowing how to get to that dream situation that you want to be, Tower of Fate, and your monster of choice winning you the game.
One of the most complicated flowcharts about Yu-Gi-Oh! That's ever been made, I'm pretty sure.
You could build a flowchart. Eventually it all comes to the same point.
Yeah,
you
that's
have
what
cards,
you want.
Your opponent has no cards.
Yeah,
and
yeah, there is that.
Hat again showing us what happens when you just can't keep up.
We don't have the answers, basically.
It generates 3 cards, additional cards with the Traptrix Myrmelio, and it's constantly trying to disrupt your opponent. But what we've seen is it kind of crumbles if your opponent can deal with the disruption.
Yeah, that is the problem.
And my headset's just got a bit funny actually there. Never mind. Oh, there we go. That's fine. A little loose cable, perhaps.
It's really, really interesting, just how we've seen spellbooks not really do anything at YCSs in recent years.
Yes,
recently, and then suddenly back in Europeans, back where they reigned last year.
Yeah,
just doing it all again.
They're just coming in, and well, you just look at what's going on in the various meta games around. You've got 777 tools, triple wiretaps being played in some decks. We haven't seen any of those up here, as far as I'm aware, but so trap heavy, and the spellbook deck's just like, okay, I can figure this out. Spellbook of Wisdom, allowing you to outplay those trap holes and stuff. Just so much control, very, very strong pick. And you can, if you're in a meta game where you're playing a lot against that one guy who hates all spells and traps and plays a lot of removal, do consider adding Quick Booster to your deck, as it will allow you to search out from your deck Spellbook of Wisdom or Spellbook of Fate and shuffle. You can shuffle that card back into the deck, really punishing your opponent for those Mystical Space Typhoons.
Definitely. I mean, I wonder what we're going to be seeing in the next round, really.
A single elimination. It'll be good to see what actually made it. I'm hoping we get the deck stats from the top 32 to figure out which guys are going to be making it through, and we can give you a proper deck breakdown.
Definitely.
So if you are preparing for your WCQs, check that out. And if you are playing spellbooks, watch this multiple times. That was a fantastic game.
Yeah. In fact, all of the spellbook feature matches that you can find on Twitch right now, definitely watch them. It will be much better for you. You will know what to do.
Yes. Okay. Do we have any other fun information for what's going on?
Not really at the moment. I mean, it's just been win after win for spellbook.
I'll tell you something I'm really surprised that we haven't seen this weekend.
What's that?
Anders Cole won YCS Sydney, the first YCS we ran on that continent, with his Karakuri deck. And it was all Karakuris. It was very, very fond of the theme. I've heard he's played it for many years, and he went to this tournament and he won pretty decisively. And that deck was just so fantastic of just going, I've got an OTK.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
I've got an
surprised we've not
OTK.
seen a lot of
And
that.
it just kind of doesn't appear right now.
There's actually 8 pure Karakuri.
Okay, so maybe some people picked it up. Although you could say it's got a rather poor hat matchup, I guess.
There is that.
But I really loved Anders Cole's deck. In the office testing it out, it was like, okay, I do a big combo and you lose. Or, oh, yeah, actually that gets me.
Yeah.
And it's one of those decks that catches you off guard in the early rounds and leaves you with a loss on your record. But maybe it's not the format for it right now.
It's true. I mean, there's a lot of answers.
Yeah, well,
basically.
the Traptrix Nightmare Holes, TTNT Traptrix Nightmare.
Traptrix, Trap Hole,
Trap
Nightmare.
Hole Nightmare, yeah.
That's the one.
Say that multiple times really, really fast. And
Traptrix, Trap Hole, Nightmare. Traptrix, Trap Hole, Nightmare.
Alright, if you're going to show me up on camera, that's fine.
Traptrix, Trap Hole, Nightmare.
Yeah. Okay, so I hope your preparations for your WCQs or for your next regional season is going well for you.
Definitely. We have been kind of just left.
Yeah, we were told we only had a few minutes left. So, yeah, awkward moment of silence.
I can't actually see any of the
crew's not flagging us off.
So, yeah.
So, any questions in the stream that got asked that we could answer?
We could have a look at that. Not really. Just a lot of people
saying good game.
saying good game. Definitely, definitely.
Also, I noticed somebody said they miss Frog FTK. No, you don't. Honestly, no, you don't. Okay,
Oh,
so
dear. Yeah.
let's see what else we've got in here.
Nobody likes a first turn kill.
No,
You like playing a first turn kill. You don't like playing against a first turn kill.
No, that was. It's just one of those horrible experiences where. Oh, you saw what happened yesterday with the. I can't remember which deck it was, but the Sylvan deck that beat his opponent before the opponent played the first card.
Yeah.
That wasn't an FTK because his opponent could have had answers, but
it's just it took seconds.
yeah, it's like when you spend.
There was nothing that I could do. Just sat back and let it happen. So,
Side in Shockmaster. Yeah, that'd be a very, very ridiculous card. In fact, forbidden card. So I'd really advise against putting that one into your deck right now.
Right, we have just been told that is us for this round.
Yep.
So thank you all for watching again. This 2-0 match for Spellbooks again. Really good in this meta.
Yes.
And that was round 11. We'll see you next round.
Single elimination, top 64.
Oh yes.